Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. But if you're new here, my name is Brittany. I'm a Chicago-based lifestyle content creator. But right now I'm recording to you live from Montreal. So I should have said bonjour at the beginning of this video. But anyway, like I said, I'm in Montreal. This is my first time ever here. I've been here for an hour. I'm obsessed already. I do love Paris though. I mean, again, I went to Paris one time and I loved it. And so I wanted to actually take a trip to Paris this year, but I honestly just ran out of time. And I bought a condo this year. I had a lot of stuff going on and time just got away from me. So I wasn't gonna be able to go. And I honestly just booked this trip a couple weeks ago because I've been feeling the itch to go, to travel, take a trip. And I've been in kind of a slump isn't the right word, but just feeling really unmotivated. Life has been feeling a little overwhelming, which is making me feel kind of generally unmotivated. So I said, let me take a quick trip to Montreal. And then I wanted to find somewhere to go. And Montreal was a close and also really affordable to come to for me. So here I am. I just got here, like I said, today actually it's maybe been 2 hours now before I landed. I'm in a co-working space right now actually because it is a weekday, it's Tuesday. And I didn't take any time off. Well, I took one day off at the end of this trip, but I, at my job for the month of July, which is a really nice perk, we have this perk called Work From Anywhere. So you can work from literally anywhere throughout the globe. And I'm remote anyway, and so I usually don't take advantage of it. But this year I was again, why not? I haven't been on a trip in a while, since February. Well, it's not that long, but a few months. And I decided to take advantage of it. And this week in particular, this is the first week of July, so it's 4th of July is on Friday. It's kind of considered a optional shutdown week. We don't really have big meetings, just a little bit of a quieter week. So I did still reserve a day pass at this really cool co-working space. It's called Crew Cafe Collected. And this kept coming up as a recommended coffee shop. And then I realized it was a co-working space too, and it wasn't very expensive for I just did a half day pass since my flight landed at 10:30 East Coast time, and then it was the half day pass was starting at noon, so I knew by the time I got to my hotel and all of that, it'd be close to noon anyway. But I got a matcha latte when I got here, had a sandwich, and now I'm in the co-working space. There's literally only one other person in here besides me. It's actually a holiday in Canada today too. It's Canada Day. But I'm going to be working here for the next few hours, and then my room should be ready at 4. So go back to my hotel room. I do have a meeting, so it'll be nice to be back in my hotel room for the meeting because it's going to be quieter. And then I'm going to try to go to, I think, a museum this evening. I don't have any firm plans. I only have one thing booked, which if you've watched any of my vlogs, that is not like me. Any of my travel vlogs, you know that I'm usually on an itinerary. I've got spots I want to hit up. But I'm not taking that approach this time, mostly just because I forgot to plan anything. And this is also, I am here by myself, just solo, and I love taking solo trips. And it's been over a year since I've taken one. I planned a couple solo trips earlier this year, but then someone always ended up joining me. Actually, I think my mom joined me on both of them. And it is kind of nice just to still go somewhere, especially somewhere new, just kind of on your own and just kind of wander around to a degree. So I'm going to try to go to one museum tonight, and then tomorrow before most of my team's on the West Coast, so I kind of work closer to West Coast hours, so my morning will be a little bit flexible. So I think I'm going to try to go to the Notre-Dame Basilica that's here, because I didn't get to see that when I was in Paris. It was still closed from the fire, and it's not the original Notre-Dame, but still close enough. So I'm going to go to that in the morning, and then I'll work for a big chunk of the day tomorrow. And then I want to go to another museum. I think it's the Natural History Museum. And then I'm going to try to go to somewhere cool for dinner tonight and tomorrow too. But then on Thursday, which I'm actually off on Thursday, it's also my last day here. My flight's not till the evening. I'm doing a food tour in Miles End, which is I'm staying in the Old Town area. I'll do a room tour when I get back to my room. So the hotel looks really nice, but it's in Miles End, and then depending on what time that's over, I might have a little bit more time to maybe do some shopping. It would be cool to go to a record store, I think, and then probably head to the airport. So anyway, that's still a few days away from now. So like I said, I'm working now at this co-working space. I'm excited to be here, a little bit of a change of scenery, and taking advantage of my free will to be yeah, I can actually go work from Montreal. I really want to. So anyway, I'll check back in once I get back to my hotel and do a full room tour. Okay, I'm in my room now and I'm kind of obsessed. Well, it's considered an apartment technically, not a room. So I'm staying at the Sonder, which I've never stayed at a Sonder before, but now I feel like this is the only kind of hotel I want to stay at. For the price of this is a really great value. If I was staying here with another person, like it would be still very roomy, but it was, and I even like looked back at my confirmation because I was like, I know this was technically one of the cheaper options. And I'm in like Old Town Montreal, like right kind of walking distance to a lot of museums and stuff. So it was a really great location, but it was $220 a night for this. And then like I said, used a bunch of points. So I ended up spending under $300 total out of pocket between this and my flight. But this is, so at the Sonder up alone, I believe. This is technically, I think this is considered a 1-bedroom apartment. So I'll give you a quick walkthrough. It is honestly not that much smaller than like my condo currently. So I feel like I'm basically at home. Honestly, this is bigger than the last apartment that I just lived in. Okay, so here we are starting at the door. Nice, huge bathroom. With like a humongous shower because the ceilings are like very tall in here. It's almost like loft style. So really nice. I also love the stone on this floor. And then going into like the main part, also a huge closet. Like you could definitely stay here for like extended stay because of how roomy it is. But then there is this bedroom here. Everything's also decorated really nice. I believe this is a king bed. Yeah, or maybe it's a queen. I don't know. But there are like curtains here because this is technically like a window that opens out to the living room. So I could still have like the outside windows open, but like close everything in here for more of a blackout type of thing. I have to keep it dark. Another big closet. And then going into like the main living room area. So there's like literally a couch, TV, basically a full kitchen. Yeah, there's a stove, this nice like glass top, microwave, which it's hard to get a microwave in a hotel room these days. This must be, oh, a dishwasher? Okay, I don't need that, but that is nice. Oh, plates, like literally a full kitchen. And then this is the fridge here and a washer and dryer. So like I said, this is a really, really great deal. I feel like for what you get. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to use most of like those appliances and stuff, but this was just way more spacious. So I felt like I wanted to go with this. But I just finished my call. I like left the co-working space. It technically closed at 4 and it was just like a 5-minute walk and my room was ready. So I came back over here. I think I'm actually gonna like take a quick nap or at least lay down. I'm like getting tired. I'm finally hitting a wall and I do want to go to this museum this evening and I want to go to a museum like this evening that's open till 8 and so I might try to like head out like 6-ish. I don't know. Now I'm kind of tired. Maybe that's not a good idea. Well, we'll see. But I'm for sure gonna like go get something to eat. I mean, I woke up at 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. Central time, so it has already been a long day for me. But we'll see how the rest of the day or the rest of this like late afternoon evening goes and figure out what to do next. First full day here in Montreal. It's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. I mean, I still have to work today, but it's 9 a.m. like East Coast time here, so I have probably about 3 hours before I need to log on to work. So what I'm about to do now is go to a coffee shop to get some coffee and then go to the Notre-Dame Basilica of Montreal.
And those are all these things are gonna be within like less than a 10-minute walk from where I'm staying. So catch up on what I did last night. So I didn't end up going to that museum that I'd mentioned because I was like too pressed. I was honestly too tired and I was gonna be like rushing myself to like get there. And this is kind of like always my take on going to visit places is I'll be back. So if I don't get everything done, which I think I am still gonna go to that museum just today, but I always feel pressured to do so many things, but it's like I can always come back. So anyway, I did go. I went to eat at this place called Brit Fish and Chips. I think that's what it's called, Brit Fish and Chips, but it was like a fish and chips place, and what I got was really good, and it was not terribly expensive either. It was really casual. I was sitting out on the patio, but then it was about to start raining, and so they asked like people to move inside, so I ended up eating inside. But I got like this fish and chips meal that was haddock, like which is basically a cod, and it said it was in a maple syrup butter. I didn't taste much maple syrup, but it was good. Or maple syrup, I meant batter, not butter. I didn't taste much maple syrup, which I was a little nervous about anyway, so I was like, I hope it's not too sweet, but it was really, really good. And then it came with chips, but I made my chips poutine, which was good. And as I was eating this, I was like, I don't think I've had poutine before. Not in Canada, like I've probably had it at some like restaurant in America, and it was good. It wasn't as like, I don't always love gravies because sometimes they can be a little salty, but this was really good. I thought it was a lot of food, but I ate all of it. Oh, and then I got also a pint of beer too. It was like some local Canadian blonde ale. But I hadn't really eaten a real meal in a while. Like I feel like I did eat a lot yesterday, but I also was up for so long. And then I decided, why not go to this ice cream place that was around the corner, because I always need a sweet treat before bed. So I got some ice cream, and that ice cream was really, really, really good too. And then I honestly just came back to my hotel, took a shower, and then got ready for bed. So I do feel pretty like much more recharged today than I did yesterday, a little less delirious. So like I said, I'm gonna do like coffee, go to the Notre-Dame Basilica, come back, work for a bit, and then I think I'm gonna go later this evening. I've been going back and forth trying to figure out when I want to do all these things, but like to kind of fit it all in, especially like with balancing work too. But I'm going to go to this museum today. It's called, what is it called? MEM. People said it was like Centre de Memorias. I'm not doing great with my French accent, but Centre de Memorias, Montreal. So I think it's just like a Montreal. It's like about Montreal, the people, artifacts. It's like in what used to be a fire station. So I think that'll be like kind of cool. It's about the history specifically of Montreal. People said it was like a good museum for locals, so I'm trying to do what the locals do. I will say I was kind of nervous. I mean, Montreal is a bilingual city. It's still both French and English, and my French is not great. Like, and I didn't brush up enough before coming. So I mean, I know like bonjour, merci, parlez-vous français, or parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? Excusez-moi, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? That's kind of the gist of, and I know how to like, when some of the words, if I read them, I can figure out what they mean, but speaking French, I'm not super strong at, but everyone speaks English, like much more than honestly I expected. Maybe they can tell I don't speak great French, but I'm also I'm seeing a lot of American tourists, I've noticed here too. I mean, I've been here for not even 24 hours, and I've been in like a 2-block radius, and so this is a pretty touristy area, but most people, what I noticed, also say bonjour, hello, and so I've been saying bonjour, hello, and then kind of like speaking in English after that. And then saying, I'm trying to remember to say like merci, and things like that too, just to like, you know, to do a little bit of French, what I can. But if you're worried about coming to Montreal and not speaking French, don't worry about it. Like, you'll be able to get by perfectly fine. The ice cream place I went to, all the signs were in French, but I just pulled out Google Translate and took a picture of it to like translate it into English. But okay, I'm actually kind of like running behind the fake schedule that I set for myself. So I'm gonna head out now, get some coffee, and start the day. croissant, I feel like I actually have done a lot. So I went to this coffee place, which now I'm forgetting the name of it. Oh, it was Cafe Olympia, I think. Olympia. It was really, really cute. It was walking distance. Everywhere that I've been going since I've been here, I've been walking to. So it was, again, something that like came up on. So, I mean, I basically have been in this pretty central, like old Montreal area. But tomorrow I am venturing out a bit more. But so everywhere that I've been has been walking distance, but this was a coffee shop that came up on like a lot of recommended places. It was really cute on the inside. It was small, like a little bistro kind of. There was a really long line when I got there, and it went by really fast. So I got like a cafe latte and some banana bread. It's like a pastry for breakfast, and then I walked over to Notre-Dame Basilica, and I mean, I'm not like a very religious person or anything, so I mostly go to like these types of things for, oh, I can see my reflection, that kind of creeped me out. But like it was so beautiful on the inside. So I didn't go to Notre Dame, like I said, in Paris, but I did go to Sacré-Cœur. I think that's how you pronounce it. And mostly on the outside though. And it's just so crazy. Like, they don't make them like they used to. Like, construction is just not like how it used to be, like, and like just how things were built and like so beautifully like curated, and like the art where everything, and like thinking how everything was hand done. It's so insane to see. So it was really beautiful on the inside. I mean, everything I read online said that people would say it would take like an hour and a half to 2 hours to get through it. I got through the whole thing in like 45 minutes, and I actually read every single sign that was there to like look at. So I took it all in, but it was really beautiful on the inside. It was like moderately crowded, not too bad. Again, it was just like, it was so beautiful, and it's so old, obviously. Like what, 400 years old at this point, almost. I guess 300 years old. So I did that, and then I walked around like that area a little bit, and I popped in a pharmacy, because one thing I loved about Paris were the French pharmacies. So I was just trying to see if there were any French products sold here. And the one I did go to, they had some La Roche-Posay, which that's really what I'm in the market for, some more La Roche-Posay sunscreen. And like there's one or two other skincare products that, I mean, you can buy in the US, but it's just so much more expensive. But also like in Canada, I'm sure there's some import costs on there too. So it might not be that much less than in the US, but they might have more like of a variety. This place was like, the beauty section was a little smaller, so I didn't end up getting anything. I saw a few things. I was like, okay, maybe I'll come back by here tomorrow before I leave, but I didn't want to like put all my like eggs in one basket there. And I'm also trying to be mindful, like I just brought a carry-on, but like I could check my bag going back, but I want to make sure it's worth, like what I get is worth me actually like paying to check my bag instead of just getting something small. But this brand Nooks that I love, they had like a display there, which I bought that stuff online before too, since I've been to Paris. But anyway, I did that, and then I came back because I needed to work, and so I logged on to work for a while, had a couple meetings, and then I had lunch at this place, Mandy's. It's right around the corner from my hotel, which is like a salad place. It reminded me of Pura Vida, which I've been to in Miami before, and I think they have a bunch of other locations in Florida, maybe a couple in New York, but they're just like salads basically. It was really cute on the inside. The salad was really good that I had, and I had an Italian soda with it too, and a cookie. It was very, very full though when I got back. So that was a few hours ago, and then since then I've done quite a bit more work too. But I think I'm gonna call it a day for my work day. So I am going to head over to one of those museums, that museum I was talking about earlier, MEM, the Centre de Montreal, yada yada yada, I forget the full name. So I'm gonna start walking over there, and I might just go in now. Yeah, because they close at 8. And again, it says something that people said takes about 2 hours to get through. We'll see how long it takes me. And then I'm probably gonna find somewhere to eat after that, and then see if there's any other shops or anything I want to pop into. Tomorrow I'm going on a food tour over in like the Mile End neighborhood, so like not walking distance from here. I'll probably end up Ubering. There's a bus I could take, I think. So I'll need to look into that. I might just end up taking an Uber, because I don't know if you can tap to pay, and I don't really want to buy like a pass or something just to take one ride there and back. But usually I take public transportation in pretty much every city that I go to, but I think I will Uber over there. And I know there's a couple shops I want to go to in that area. Like there's a couple record stores, so I'll definitely look at that after my food tour tomorrow. And then honestly, I'll probably have to leave to go to the airport shortly after that. So, but anyway, we'll think about that tomorrow. Let's head out to the museum. last day in Montreal. It's like just before 10. Yeah, it's 9:55. My goal was to leave at 10, like to leave my hotel at 10. So I'm on like perfectly running on time. Oh, I'm gonna adjust this. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I'm going to do a food tour today. It starts at 11. It's like about, I think I said this yesterday, I'm probably just gonna Uber there because it's way too far to walk. It would take me like over an hour to walk there. It's like a neighborhood west, yeah, like going west of here. It's about a 20-minute drive, but I do want to pick up a coffee. And I also like don't want to be late. So I'm gonna like grab a coffee somewhere nearby here and then get like an Uber over there, and it looks like it'll be I think less than $10 for me to Uber there, so that's perfectly fine. And it's a food, I think it's about a 2-hour long food tour, and then I'm probably gonna just like look around. There's a couple record stores that are right around there, some other like cool shops and stuff, and I just haven't been over in that area over the past couple days that I've been here, so I'm excited for that. But last night I went to that museum. It was interesting. It was really cool. I feel like it was a really cool way to like understand the history of a city in general, because it was more, I was almost like, I'm like, did a sociologist put this museum together? I feel like they probably did, because it's about like the people and like how people immigrated here, and it emphasized a lot of the like, obviously a lot about like the indigenous cultures that were, or the indigenous tribes that were here before like the European settlers came over. And then it kind of also answered a lot of questions I'd been wondering about, because I was like, was there like slavery here in Canada? Because I rarely ever hear that being talked about, and literally there was a display that said yes, there was slavery here, and then it was like a 5-minute long video talking about it. It was mostly indigenous people that were enslaved, but like there also were African slaves here too, like black slaves, but they were like very high price. So something really interesting, like I'm like, if there was a documentary or something about this, I would be interested in watching it. And so they talked a lot about that, and then like immigration in general to Montreal throughout the years. And there is like, I mean, this is true in a lot of cities, but like housing is a big issue in Montreal, and people getting what's the word I'm thinking of, basically like displaced, like, because it's largely a city of renters, which again, most cities are, like most big cities. And so, and even like people that own there's been a history of them getting like bought out of their homes. And like, then it's like, well, where do they go? So I don't know, it was really interesting. So I did really enjoy it. I would definitely recommend it. And then I had to run back to my hotel because it was about to start storming, and I forgot my umbrella. So I came back to my hotel, and I didn't for sure know where I wanted to eat anyway, because I was thinking about eating somewhere over in that area where I was, which was like, I felt like I walked through what looked like a Chinatown kind of neighborhood. I don't know what this area is called. Yeah, I did walk through Chinatown. I'm seeing it here on the map. Like the Saint Laurent area. But anyway, I walked back over to my hotel, and I ended up changing clothes to grab my umbrella. Then I ended up going to this French restaurant called Holder. It was right around the corner, like a 3-minute walk from my hotel. The food was really, really good, and because I was like, you know, when in Rome, why not get a little French food? But it was really good. The service was really good. Also, everyone there was very good looking. I was like, is this like a scouting place for models? Why does everyone look like this? But this, like I said, the service was really good. The food was good. I got a lot of food. I just like really went for it. I got a half dozen oysters. The oysters were really good. A cocktail, French 75. It came with bread. Like the meal came with bread. And then I got some almost steak frites. Like it was a steak, and then some really good French fries, which I'm not a huge French fry person, but these were really good with some kind of aioli. And then I ended up getting a dessert. It was a mousse, like a lemon mousse with some kind of a coconut something crumble. It was delicious. And then came back to my hotel, went to bed, and then kind of like just woke up this morning and repacked up some of my stuff. I'm not working at all today, which was really nice. So I'll be able to like fully enjoy my day. And then once I do all that other stuff that I mentioned, I'll probably honestly will just head to the airport. We'll come back to the hotel, grab my bag, and head to the airport. So I probably won't be back on until like just except to close out the vlog. Maybe like to close out the vlog. So but anyway, let me go get some coffee. I am dragging a little bit, and start my day. home. I'm no longer in Montreal, but that is still my luggage sitting right there. And I've been back for, okay, it's Wednesday. So I've actually been back for almost a week. Honestly, I've just been picking things slowly out of that backpack. I do usually unpack right when I get home, but I was like pretty busy once I got back. Anyway, I'm editing the vlog right now to get ready to post it and realized I never came back to close it out. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Anyway, what I did on Thursday, my last full day, was I did that food tour. I really loved that food tour. I would 12 out of 10 recommend it. I'll link it in the description. It was with Secret Food Tours. The guide that I had, his name was Luca, and it was really fun. I feel like it was really good value too, because it was a little pricier. I think it was 85 USD, but that's like kind of what I was finding in general for most of the food tours in that area. But then once I got there, I realized why, because we went to 6 places and we got really big servings, I feel like, of food at every one of them, and it was really cool. Like I said, I'd been wanting to kind of go into that neighborhood because I just heard different things about it and wanted to get outside of that area I was staying in anyway, just to like explore a little more. So it was really cool. All of the food that we had was very good. I'd had poutine earlier in the week on Tuesday, I think, and the poutine that we had that day I feel like was way better. No disrespect to the Brit and Chips poutine, but that poutine was a lot better, or was, I don't know, the gravy was just, I liked it better. For me personally, and everyone that was on my tour was an American, which I was like, I feel like that happens almost anytime I go on. That happens often on, I guess there are a lot of Americans, sure, and Canada's not that far away, but every single person on that tour was American. There was one other guy that was there by himself too, and he had just gotten in, I think it was the night before. He was from New York, and he was like, I had to get out of America for the 4th of July. I was like, no, I feel you. I like needed to escape. It was just funny that literally everyone on the tour was American. Yeah, like I said though, I thought the tour was really great information that we learned. It was just like a really fun experience, and also all of the food was really good. For some reason I thought it was 2 hours. It was actually 3 hours long. So it was from 11 to 2. Yeah, I think we finished right around 2, and I think I mentioned there was like a couple of record stores that were not too far. I didn't know where the tour was going to end either, but they were in that general area. 2 record stores that I wanted to go to, and then there was just like, I just also just like to like walk around and explore, but I did realize I didn't have time to. I actually, when I left the tour, I started walking towards one of the record stores, and it was going to take me about 10-ish minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes to walk there. And as I was walking, it was also hot. I was sweating. As I was walking there, I realized I was like doing the mental time in my head. I was like, I can only stay in here for maybe 5 minutes. And then I need to turn around and basically leave. Or I was like, if I want to go to both of these stores, I can maybe walk in them for 5 minutes. And I'm gonna like be constantly just thinking about, oh, I need to leave. Because my flight was at 6:40. And I'm not a person that ever gets to the airport early. I'm usually like walking up to the airport like 10 minutes before boarding is gonna start. But I realized I've never been to this airport before. I asked one of the guides on our tour, and he like, is it recommended to get there as long as they say, like, and he was like, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. So I'm like, yeah, I've never been to this airport before. Who knows? And I'm glad I did leave when I leave at that moment, because there was a little bit of traffic getting back to my hotel, and then there was a lot of traffic getting to the airport. So it took longer. It took probably 45 minutes to get to the airport when I thought it would take maybe 20. And then getting through security and all that was pretty easy and breezy. And I did do, like, you do customs pre-clearance, like US customs pre-clearance in the airport. And I have global entry too, so that was easy. So then once I landed back in Chicago, I just left. I didn't have to go through customs again. Anyway, I loved Montreal. I want to go back as soon as possible. Like, I honestly would like to go back maybe before the end of the year. I would honestly love to go around Christmas time, because I know there are some really beautiful Christmas markets there. I have been to Toronto before. That's the only other city in Canada. Yeah, it's the only other city in Canada I've been to. No disrespect to any Torontoans. I don't know what people from Toronto would be called. I didn't love Toronto, but I loved Montreal. I don't know. I think Montreal was just a little bit more like my speed, like what I like and look for in cities. Respectfully, again, to Toronto, but I've been there. I went there once and I was like, I don't know if I need to come back here again. It was so fun. And I don't even think I did. I know I didn't even do close to like
a quarter of what there is to do in the city. So that's also why I really want to go back, because I know there's so much more to take in and explore and absorb. So I definitely want to try to go back, like I said, maybe by the end of the year. I also want to brush up on my French a little bit more. It wasn't a huge, like I said, it wasn't a huge like obstacle, but I just would like to be able to speak French a little bit more. I'm not going to be fluent in it by the next time I go back, but I would like to speak it a little bit better, or because so the only people I ran into that I couldn't communicate with were 2 out of my 4 Uber drivers. Yeah. I think 2 of them just like just didn't speak. One of them spoke only English or French and Spanish. The other one only spoke French, I think. And I mean, again, we didn't have to communicate, but they kept trying to I think they were just trying to chit chat and ask me questions. And I did say to both of them kind of at the top, I was like, probably too anglais. And I feel like just out of habit, they were just trying to like be friendly and communicate. And my Uber driver going to the airport, like I said, that was a long drive. I know that he was asking me about the air and the music. I could figure that out from what he said, and I was just like, c'est bon, like, it's okay. I tried to make sure that I did say merci beaucoup, like a few times as I was getting out, just to make sure, like, you know, I was very thankful for his ride, even though we didn't get to talk, which I don't need to chit chat often anyway. But otherwise, like, you can, like I said, functionally get around, but it would be nice to just like speak a little bit more French. Although the one guy that I was talking to that I mentioned that was from New York on my tour, he spoke French because I think he says he knows a little bit of French and he's been to Paris like a handful of times, but he did say like the French in Montreal was he was like, it sounds a little different than what I'm used to, and like in France how people speak French, which is probably kind of like Mexican Spanish versus like Puerto Rican Spanish. It's like maybe the accent a little bit versus like Spanish. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not just me. Maybe I just need to like, I'm not fluent enough in general to be able to pick up on the little differences. I definitely, like I said, I want to go back. Loved Montreal. Would stay at that hotel again. Like I said, it was a pretty decent value, but also would be open to staying somewhere else. Like it could be cool to stay more in that like Miles End area. But like it also, like I said, could be really cool to go back for a Christmas market. Anyway, that was my trip to Montreal. If you made it this far in the vlog, hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I have a decent amount of travel vlogs on my channel. I do travel a decent amount. This year, not quite as much, but I have a lot of travel vlogs on my channel. And I think this year I only have one other trip that I'm gonna vlog, probably, that I know of at least. Maybe I'll be back in Montreal, but so far I think I just have one other trip that I'll be vlogging for the rest of the year. But I have a ton of other content on my channel too. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.